Hello, people. Welcome back. I am sorry that this was supposed to go out Sunday, but honestly, I've just been feeling really bad the last couple days, so won't bore you with excuses, but hopefully that won't affect my voice too much. Just not sinuses or anything. So, anywho, getting that dealt with. But let's just go ahead and jump into the video. So this will be sailing, mostly early and mid game sailing. Obviously, we're not really at end game yet, so. But this will just be like basic guide, what to look out for, early and mid game strategies towards it, and just random little tidbits and things to optimize. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So first on, we'll go ahead and get into sailing mechanics. Um, Basically, you'll start out with one or two boats. Well, one boat, and then you can get one captain. And as you gain more gold, you can buy more captain slots and more boats and build out your fleet. Each boat has different upgrade materials that you can get from different islands. You'll see in the top, no, excuse me, in the top of the islands, the little UI for it, you'll have whatever resource they drop, and then they also drop a rare version of that resource. So you'll see this is lightning bolts. This is like a fruit, tropical tree or a palm tree, excuse me, logs, etc. You can see and keep track of all of these treasures via the loot pile screen with your gold at the top, and you'll collect these over time, and you'll use these primarily to upgrade either your boats or other things, such as like later game alchemy bubbles. Um, I don't know if it's just alchemy bubbles right now, but he'll probably be adding them to more resources later. So it's just another form of resources. Good to keep track of them. The way you get these resources is via the chests. When you open a chest, it'll roll, and whatever your loot value is will affect how much you get. And then, so a wooden chest will have one roll on it, an iron chest will have two, gold chest will have three, etc. Um, and I believe that the rarer chests give you rare materials more often, but I could be completely wrong about that. That's why this guide might become outdated as we learn more about the skill. But so I'm gonna try to keep things to exactly what I know. But yeah, so each chest has more rolls on it, and so you'll either roll gold or whatever resource they'll drop. And you can check what chests will drop what soon. So in a second, I'll claim some boats and we'll see what's going on. I just want to get into this first. So each boat will have a different upgrade material. The first boat will just be gold. Second boat will dip into the first island's resource, second island, third island, etc. So um, the UI for sailing is kind of hard to keep track of right now. Hopefully that gets better as time goes. Lava has been trying to add more and more stuff to it. So uh, currently the captain bonuses are a little wonky, but Lava has fixed those, and that will be coming in the next patch. So look forward to that. As far as uh, when that is functioning properly, sailing speed and loot value are going to be your two most important values to look out for. Sailing speed will be more of a mid to late game thing, as speed capping is a thing, and we'll talk about that in a second. Loot value is always just going to be very strong. It'll help you upgrade your boats, it'll help you upgrade your gold values and things that require gold. So loot value is always going to be good. Artifact chance, cloud discover, and rare chance are going to be more niche. Cloud discover and artifact chance eventually will get useless. They'll become useless over time, but they are pretty sizable buffs once they work. So you could definitely have a loot or a artifact chance or cloud discovery um, captain, and it'd be good. It's just the specifically for artifact chance, it's going to be most useful on like the later islands because you're not going to be able to send as many boats to it, but you're going to need speed to get to those islands. So I just don't see artifact chance being very useful ever. Same thing with cloud discovery rate. You would just rather have more speed. So personally, I don't think those two are very worthwhile. Rare art or rare chest chance. Let me see if I have one in here. I do not. Rare chest chance. It because rare chests roll multiple times, it can be better than loot value. Depending on the rolls, I think rare chest could be better than loot value, but overall, I think loot value is just going to be more consistent. So, so that's my spiel on the captain bonuses once they work. You'll notice captains have different colors or like skins. Those are the different tiers of captains. With so the basic pirate that you get, the white plain pirate, that is the tier 0. The red pirate is tier 1. This pirate with the feather is tier 2. This one is a tier 3, and then you'll eventually find a purple one, which I actually have in the shop right now. This is a tier 4, and a green rock-looking monster that is a tier 5. So those are the tiers, and depending on the tiers, they can have higher max rolls, but they do not affect their minimum rolls. So you can get, a tier 5 captain with minimum rolls, and it's very depressing. You'll also either get one or two traits depending on the captain. It is completely random. Both of them can be max rolls, both of them can be min rolls. They can be related, they can be unrelated. That's it. So completely independent rolls. You can just get one that just doesn't get a second roll, as you saw with the tier 4 captain over there. Did I show it? I'm not sure. Um, yeah, see, only one trait roll. So, as far as the boats go, the upgrade materials are stagnant. So if you'll want to upgrade a boat later on, you can just send a whole bunch of boats towards that island to farm the materials for it. So that is nice. The later boats will become are far harder to farm the materials to upgrade than the early boats, but because of the price scaling on the materials needed, all your boats will reach a relatively same amount of upgrades. I have been focusing purely on the first boat as it is the easiest to upgrade in my opinion because of the trader. So before we get into optimizing and everything, let's talk about loot. The scaling on the loot and speed on the boats. So these do not linearly scale. And what I mean by that is, I believe I have one in here. Here. You'll see that as you upgrade either the loot or the speed, um, I believe it is every 7 levels or every 8th level. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully, we'll get that data mined and put on the wiki at some point. The loot value or speed value will jump up to a larger, like, so you see how this is 44.1 to 44.7. That's a pretty small increase. Those base values going up aren't that insane. But then eventually you'll get to the 7th or 8th upgrade and then it'll jump like this. And both loot and speed will do that. So you'll be wanting to push those little breakpoints as you go. They're very important. And you'll see I have focused down upgrades on a few boats, and I'll have boats that have far less stats because you're just going to want to focus loot and speed onto a couple boats and use them to do your most of your farming. Because I can use this one to farm Island 1, for instance, and I could drastically boost the speed on these two far quicker than if I had a more balanced roster. Just because loot value again doesn't scale linearly, so you're going to want to be pushing loot value. It feeds itself very quickly, and it becomes more absurd once you get the trader unlocked. So let's go ahead and talk about early game artifacts to go for when you're going for sailing. So important early game artifacts I would consider are the Tusk. This is giving you higher artifact chance, so getting this early, and the Ancient is it's lucky and it's very strong because it's going to make the rest of the artifact hunting better. Um, as far as ancients are concerned, they're just rarer versions of the artifact. Once you have gotten it, um, you could basically roll it again and you'll get the ancient bonus, but it's like 1 in 1,000 instead, like it's like 1,000 times more rare or so. So the ancient versions are better. And by upgrading your initial chance to get them, you're going to be able to farm them far far faster. So I recommend farming the first island a lot to get your first 3 boats quite strong, and then moving on from there. But you're gonna be there's gonna be like lulls in where um, you're farming one island for a long time, and then your boats are fast enough to go to the next island, and then so on and so forth. So, anyway, the lamp. This lamp is insane. It is very, very worthwhile because again, loot value feeds itself and doesn't scale linearly. So the faster you're getting loot value, the faster you're increasing your overall sailing powers on all your boats. Um, the arrowhead also good because it enables you to manage your chests, which makes it so you don't have to abuse the loot pile as much, and you're also able to get higher chest rarities. So just a very good upgrade. And last but not least, the trader is what I consider the one of the most important early relics to get. I keep saying artifacts, my bad. Relics. Um, the trader, this guy here, will offer to buy your um, materials that you get from sailing for an extremely large amount of gold bars. Early on, it's not that insane for the first couple of islands, but after island like 6, the price scaling that he offers, or that the trader offers for the loot, is pretty crazy. Like as you can see, I mean, I have so much gold spent on this first boat just because how much the later materials sell for. So trader again just lets you push loot value to tremendous degrees. All right, so that's like early relics to focus down. For mid-game relics, I could recommend the speed relic because sailing speed is going to start getting extremely hard around Island 6. The urn, Ashen Urn, will help your divinity progress, which we'll talk about in the next video, but very good multiplier. And same thing with the next one, which is the Jade Rock. You're going to want to focus this if you're going for divinity. And all of the post office ones, you're going to want to pick these up early, primarily. You're going to want to pick these up as early as possible because the post offices are very strong. As I talked about in the gaming post office, it lets you make use of the post office with the Kitsune Rock combo. The sailing post office is less powerful, in my opinion, than the gaming one. There's no insane combos you can do with it, but it is just it's 5.33 AFK gains towards all your sailing. So all AFK gains you get on all your characters. It's like if you claim 100 hours of AFK gains, you're getting 5 1/3 hour for free, um, which is great. I mean, like that's just nice to have. The damage and the agility, cool. It's not that great. There's no like cool combos you can do, like I said with the gaming one, and the gaming crate is actually what you'll get later on. So the divinity crate is probably the most important in my opinion as far as the crates go because divinity XP and divinity gain are very strong. So those are the mid game relics, and then for ones who are breaking into late game relics, I consider the Fury relic very strong. So early on, I recommend just saving up books until you get this, and then this will allow you to start like grab a couple maxed books, and then start farming up higher level talents, which are just very very powerful. Also, the Gummy Orb and the Weather Book, which I had no ancients for yet, both tremendously increase gaming. So those will be the relics that I think you should focus down for. They're all, I mean, obviously all the relics are good. Like, there's some really powerful effects in here, especially the Moai head. I think Moai head is probably one of the best to get as you're pushing through World 5. But don't fret on them too much. I would definitely focus boats down to get those ones I detailed. So, okay, so let's talk about minimum distance and boat speed. So all the islands have a minimum travel time of 2 hours, meaning that no matter what your speed is, I could have 10 million speed, and I am still gated to getting 2 hour travel. Um, the speed stat that you see here is, so I have 12.5 million. That is per hour. So as long as I have um, half of whatever the distance is in speed, I'm good because I'm reaching that minimum travel time. Because let's say I had 13, or I mean, excuse me, 12.5 speed in 2 hours, or not 12.5. What is that? 13. Why can't I math? My brain. 13 point. No, that's 12.5. I'm thinking. I'm sorry. 12.5. Yes, 12.5. As long as I have 12.5 speed, I will reach this in the minimum time. Same thing for like 300k. If I have 150k speed on my boat, I will reach this in the minimum time. Uh, I don't need 300k speed to get there in the minimum time because I have 2 hours of travel. So that's a little bit confusing, but as long as you remember that, you're good. Uh, you're going to be wanting to hit the minimum speed or the minimum time on all the islands that you can. It's just the most efficient way to get chests. So I don't want to move to Island 2 until I can get my boats up to at least 50 m speed. Um, and account-wide upgrades are going to help you do that. The tablet, which is why I consider it a very good mid relic to go for, because it's just a lot of speed. Other sources of speed are going to be the alchemy bubble. Alchemy bubble here. There's a stamp for speed. There's statues for speed. There's new meals for speed. And there are 2 god bonuses that give speed. The Goharut, and Permep, both giving speed. I don't think I'm forgetting any of these other ones. No. So you're gonna want to focus those down. But again, they'll come. Some of these are RNG rolls, so don't be sad if you're not going as fast as you want. Like you can't force the RNG in these cases, so you're just gonna have to, get whatever you get is awesome, but focus on upgrading speed through those ways and through upgrading your boats. Again, remember the speed will jump after every 7 or 8 upgrades. And once the captain bonuses properly work, you'll be able to get a lot more speed on all your characters. So, um, what else to talk about? So the post office, like I said, good for sailing gains on all your characters. The bubble is also another one. This is a chance. Um, and then this will also stack with golden hamsters, which I need to go redistribute to all my characters. So if you are not an active player, I recommend playing active for at least a couple days to get a good stack of golden hamsters. These are very powerful towards sailing, especially on your warriors. I have to actually redistribute them. And I also recommend, once you get a good stack of them, to redistribute them sort of evenly across your characters. Personally, I'm putting more towards my warriors because they get a better bonus from them. And then, for the most part, evenly distributing them among my other characters who are AFK. Doing that will give you a lot of sailing progress on your account. So let me see if I'm not forgetting anything. Apologies. I'm trying to not ramble as much or put as many ums in this, but sailing is pretty complicated. And as I said in the gaming video, I'm still learning a whole bunch of things. So these are just things that I've picked up on and think that are important towards early game sailing. But later on in World 5, once we have the meta pretty figured out what is good and what isn't good, maybe you'll have to update these videos, but hopefully this will be a good starter for sailing. So let's go ahead and claim some sailing gains and talk about a couple of other tricks. So here we go, claim. So I didn't get a sailing proc here. Unlucky. You could check how many banked hours of sailing you have here. Also, whatever your overall boat speed multi is. A lot of that depends on the slab, I believe. And you'll see when I claim on this character, I have 23.1 chance plus the bubble, which is like 7. So about a 30% chance to get sailing gains. And you'll notice that the hamsters don't scale too insanely, 23.2. So, like I said, if you're not an active player, just get enough hamsters to kind of feed your count, but don't go too crazy on them. So let's go ahead and claim until we get some sailing progress. Woohoo! Got it. Um, oh, and then also make sure you check your gaming. Hey, didn't freeze. Thank you. Um, but we're doing sailing right now, so let's go sailing. So we got a couple hours of sailing gains. Right now I have 20 boats. If they all deposit at once, I'm going to be um, over my chest cap. The current cap right now is 17, I believe, if you have the ancient Dreamcatcher. So I can currently carry 17 chests plus 20 that my other boats bring in. A little trick you can do, which is uh, difficult on mobile, is you can leave the sailing screen like that by pressing escape, and you see I got the chests, but if I go back into sailing, they're still going around. So I can leave that screen and collect all the chests that way. Um, Difficult to do on mobile and kind of tedious. You can also just put the minimum value on chests to like iron, and you're okay. So whatever you prefer. You get more chests by pressing escape and everything. It's a little um, annoying to do though, and you lose a little bit less AFK time. So, but that's a little tidbit there. Again, it's kind of difficult on mobile to like click away from it. Something else you could do is like click on your inventory and get out of there. Just something that gets you more chests in the long run, works around the loot pile a little bit. Um, Otherwise, that is pretty much all there is to be said about sailing at the moment. There are some key bubbles that sailing upgrades that will probably be powerful later on, but specifically the damage bubbles are very, very strong. Um, so you're gonna be wanting to work on focusing scaling because the relics are great, and these bubbles will greatly help you pushing through World 5 if you're having trouble with damage. Um, and also, as you saw, the one of the sailing speed bonuses is upgraded through gaming. So that's where gaming comes in. There's just a lot of random upgrades that gaming will help contribute to that makes them interconnected. So hopefully that was a pretty um, encompassing guide towards early mid-game sailing. Again, there's other tidbits here and there I'm probably forgetting. Hopefully, when the captain stats work, and we'll see if we can get more chest space, so we don't have to do the escape workaround and whatnot. But yeah, that hopefully that was pretty expansive, and if I need to add anything else, I'll put it in the comments below if I forgot something or in an updated video. Um, as far as that is concerned, Divinity will be next up on the list. I'm feeling a little bit better in the next couple days. I just have been having very bad headaches. Um, but yeah, won't get too much into that. But yeah, look forward to the next one. Sorry this one was a little delayed. Hopefully it helps. And let me know what you guys think. So I will see you in the next one, hopefully by Friday.